What if those 70% of Americans who believe that religions other than our own are equally valid routes to truth were seen as the majority? What would that do to this country? The perception of the majority right now is of a homogeneous flavor of Christianity, but it is simply not true. If this church, this one church that allows for many expressions of faith, really represents the values of the average of America, of real America, then we are called to be seen and heard as such. Our country needs us, and that is going to take responsible membership. So let me shift gears for just a moment. If a real American is one that embraces diversity and who is involved in democracy, then what is a real Unitarian? I often hear people stumble of, how do I explain what a Unitarian is to my friends and family members or coworkers? So what is a real Unitarian? First of all, a Unitarian is someone who believes that all people come from one source. We can call that source whatever we want. God, the universe, Great Spirit, Holy One. The name is just a name, one source. Secondly, Unitarian is historically someone who asked the question at the time of the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, is Jesus human or divine? Unitarians answered that either-or question with a definitive yes, and maintained that there is but one God to which all names ultimately address. Was Jesus divine? Yes. Was Jesus human? Yes. Did that make Unitarians during the Council of Nicaea heretics? Yes. Yes, indeed it did. So what is a real Unitarian? Someone who believes all of humanity comes from the same source no matter what it's called, and respects either answer on the divinity of Jesus. And so what is a real Universalist? First, a Universalist is someone who believes that when we die, we all go to the same place. Names for that place vary greatly. Heaven, a return to source. Maybe we replenish the life that remains. We become nothing. We become energy. We go to light from dust to dust, it is said. The point is that Universalists do not believe that there is a great decider who sorts people into different places depending upon how well they behaved or whether or not they spoke the right magic words while they were alive. We come from the same place, and we all end up in the same place. Secondly, historically, Universalists have been of two sorts. Universalist Christians who believe that Jesus' crucifixion covered all of us, saved all of us. There were also Universalists who believed that there are universal truths that we all hold in common despite our religious or even secular diversity. So no matter what theology, whether we're Christian or Buddhist or atheist, agnostic, Jewish, Muslim, or Hindu, we're all climbing up the same mountain on a different path, but ending up at the same place. Many paths to the same God. In order for us to be seen and heard as a force to be reckoned with in the battle for the soul of America, we must be articulate about who we are. So as real Unitarians and real Universalists, in our church we believe that we all came from the same place and we all end up in the same place. Some will say that being part of our religious tradition is incredibly easy. We have no creed to memorize, nothing necessarily to give up at Lent. You can drink if you want. Heck, you can drink here if you want. No one forces you to knock on people's doors to save souls. No attendance records are being kept. There are no mandatory tithing percentages, so feel free to give more than 10%. You don't even have to read the Bible. But I disagree. As far as our church is concerned, the question is, who is a real member? The easy answer is that an active member is someone who has signed the membership book and made a pledge of record. But there is a difference between our member of our faith tradition and a responsible member. The bar may be set low to belong, but in order for us, for our churches and our tradition to live out its fullest potential, the bar is actually set extraordinarily high. We need more responsible members, people who invest in our present and our future, people who are pursuing the difficult task of an ongoing spiritual development, people who appreciate our diversity and can articulate what we have in common, people who are biblically literate because our culture demands it, so that we can be in conversation with a significant portion of religious America. And people who support the church with their time and talent and treasure. And we are fortunate to have many who do. Every time I lead a new members class and explain that joining our church is deceptively simple. All you do is sign your name on a book and on a check. But what we are really seeking is for each member to bring their whole selves to church, to place their names symbolically among the names of all of those who have agreed to do the same. There is no test for membership. No one will be tracking you down to see if you have done your homework. The accountability is your own. But the church and the ministers are here to help guide you if you would like help along the way. In our new member class, we talk about time and talent and treasure. And part of that time, we hope, will be spent deepening your understanding of your own relationship to our core theological themes, as well as educating yourself on the diversity of experience of those themes in our own congregation. We have 27 themes that span 3 years, 9 themes per year, September through May. How can you engage with these themes to increase your spiritual competency? I used to be a teacher, so what I will tell our new members is, if you want to make an A+, this is what you have to do. Read our monthly journal, Simple Gifts, which you can get online at the first of the month to explore ideas on the theme and ideally to begin considering that theme before you come to church the first Sunday of the month. Inside that Simple Gifts is a list of quotes on the theme, which you can print and pull out as part of your journaling or meditation practice. Wow. Sometimes we hear things when we meditate, too. Inside Simple Gifts is a book list for further reading. We ask you to choose one to include in your reading for the month. Inside Simple Gifts are suggested spiritual practice that help to develop the theme. We invite you to pick up a copy of our parent guide and read how our children are exploring the theme, including practical articles about how to answer our children's big questions related to the themes. We invite you to attend the first Sunday of the month service where Marlon explores an aspect of the theme in detail in Sunday worship, and where we introduce the story for all ages that is used in our children's religious education program for the month. We invite you to attend Soulful Sundown on the first Friday of the month, where I conduct a more secular exploration of the theme using popular culture, live music and drama, video, slam poetry, improv. We invite you to join a branches group, our small group ministry program, where they will have an opportunity to examine how your own story and the theological theme of the month intertwine, It is a great way to get to know other members of the congregation beyond surface level by exploring the theme and how it touches their lives, while learning tools of how to better listen to our own hearts and to one another. We invite you to attend a Wednesday night adult religious education program or our Sunday morning Emerson Hall throughout the month for classes and lectures that relate to the theme. And to consider sharing your gifts and talents with our children by volunteering in our All Souls Kids program as a workshop leader. And here's the extra credit. 3 times a year, Marlon leads a theme training for the upcoming 3 themes, taking an overview of the theme and why that theme is relevant to the church and to our lives. It is specifically for our leaders and teachers, but it's open to everyone and would be a great way to know what is upcoming in the next 3 months' worth of themes, in case you would like to propose a class or write an article to submit, or if you'd like to maybe figure out how you might plug in to teach one of those workshop classes. Not to mention the fact that it's just really interesting to know how the program staff and the ministers are shaping our church experience. So, it's hard work being a responsible member. There are lots of opportunities for you. What else can you do to be a responsible member of our church besides working on your own spiritual competency? Support the church financially so that this institution will thrive in the present and so it will be here for the next generation. Be an educated voter and come to our congregational meetings. Volunteer in one of our programs serving the church or serving the community through the church. And lastly, be proud of your affiliation with this free faith, where we celebrate diversity with one church and many expressions. Our church will be better for it. Just as these United States of America will benefit from more responsible and more invested citizens, our church will benefit from more responsible, more invested members. And our country will benefit from a more responsible and more invested free religious tradition across this nation, modeling the value of diversity as an organized majority. We are real America. God bless you, and God bless these United States of America. Amen.